Welcome back to the tutorial series on the 2D action platformer kit. After exploring the stage structure in our last session, it's time to dive into the creative process of designing and building your very own stage using the kit. Inside the Stages folder, you'll discover a template stage, fully equipped with every component necessary for crafting a functional level. Let's begin by duplicating this scene. Rename it something memorable like My Stage and place it into the regular Stages folder to keep things organized. Upon entering your new scene, you'll notice it appears empty at first glance. However, the hierarchy is preloaded with all the essential game objects required to kickstart the construction of your stage. Let's see what happens if we press play now. As expected, our player character spawns into the scene, but without any tilemap defined architecture to support them, they'll simply fall endlessly. This scenario perfectly illustrates the importance of the tilemap in giving structure and form to our stages. Exiting play mode, let's navigate back to the stage game object and delve into the tilemap. Our first task is to create a solid foundation for our player character. Select the solid layer and open your tile palette. From here, pick a tile that suits your vision for the ground and draw it directly onto your scene, like so. To ensure our setup is functional, it's crucial to verify the starting position for this stage. Access the checkpoints game object and select player start. In our scenario, the player start is ideally situated above the ground tiles we've just laid out. Let's press play to observe the outcome. As anticipated, the player character now spawns precisely above the ground, enabling us to walk and explore the stage. However, we notice that falling off the platform doesn't affect the player. To address this, let's exit play mode once more and focus on introducing a hazard. We find a pit collider already prepared for use in our stage. Simply position this pit collider beneath the ground layer and adjust its size to fit the design of your stage. This setup should suffice for our current needs. Before running another test, it's important to assign the game objects that the pit collider will impact in the Objects to Destroy dropdown. At a minimum, this should include the player, but I also recommend setting it to affect enemies for added challenge and realism. With these adjustments, we're poised to test the revised mechanics and ensure that falling now presents a genuine risk to the player and enemies alike, enhancing the gameplay experience with this added layer of danger. Upon retesting our stage, we encounter the pit and can observe that falling into it results in the player being eliminated and subsequently respawning at the starting position. This mechanic validates our pit collider's functionality, enhancing the game's challenge. However, with the current setup, our player cannot traverse the pit, necessitating the addition of a platform to allow for crossing. Let's proceed to sketch out another platform, ensuring it's within jumping reach for the player. Next, we'll explore the ladder layer, which introduces vertical mobility to our stage. Imagine a scenario where the player character in your game lacks the ability to wall jump, necessitating a ladder to ascend. Within our tile map, we select the ladder layer, and from the tile palette, we choose a tile that visually represents a ladder. Positioning this tile strategically within our scene, say at a spot that requires climbing, enhances the level's complexity. Let's initiate another playtest. After successfully leaping over the pit and reaching the ladder, we find that pressing up enables the player to climb, showcasing the seamless integration of vertical movement mechanics into our stage design. Let's introduce some adversity to our stage by adding our first enemy. Dive into the Prefabs Enemies folder to explore the variety of foes at your disposal. For this demonstration, we'll choose the road wheel enemy to inject some challenge into our level. Simply drag the enemy from the folder and drop it into your stage, positioning it in a spot that strategically increases the difficulty or surprises the player. To maintain a clean and organized hierarchy within our scene, it's a good practice to place the newly added enemy under the enemy's game object. This not only keeps your stage tidy, but also simplifies managing various game elements. Upon testing the stage again, you'll notice that the enemy immediately springs to action, requiring no additional configuration on our part. Moving forward with our stage design, it's time to expand the playable area by adding more ground tiles. Once again, navigate to the solid layer and start drawing additional ground sections to enhance the stage layout. This expanded ground will also serve as an introduction to utilizing the spike layer effectively. After laying down the ground tiles, switch your focus to the spike layer. From the tile palette, select the spikes and strategically place them within these two gaps. These spiked hazards are not only a visual deterrent but are also functional, similar to the pit collider previously discussed. In the spike layer's properties, you'll find the Objects to Destroy drop-down. Here, specify that both the player and enemies should be affected by the spikes. This setting ensures that any character, be it the player or an enemy, meeting these spikes will be eliminated, reinforcing the challenge within your stage. Let's proceed with a test run to see the impact of these spikes in action. Confirming that the spikes indeed eliminate our player character upon contact is crucial for validating their functionality within the game environment. Now let's explore the functionality of one-way platforms, a feature that adds a unique dynamic to level design by allowing players to pass through platforms from one direction. To get started, select the one-way platforms layer and from the tile palette, pick a tile that you envision as a one-way platform. Let's draw 3 of these platforms in a designated area of our stage. This setup aims to test the platform's behavior and ensure they work as intended, enhancing the gameplay with vertical mobility options. After setting up the platforms, let's conduct a quick test to observe their functionality in action. During this test, you'll notice that the player can easily jump onto these platforms from below, seamlessly passing through without any collision. Wrapping up our exploration of the tile map layers, let's turn our attention to the background layer. This layer is specifically designed for aesthetic enhancements, allowing you to draw any tile without it having collision properties. This capability is perfect for adding depth and detail to your stage's backdrop, enriching the visual experience. Select the background layer and for our purpose, choose a darker tile to draw behind the one-way platforms. This will start to give our stage more dimension and character. But why stop there? Let's also enhance our stage with a parallax background, adding an even greater depth of field. Inside your stage, you'll find the background game object already equipped with 2 layers. Upon expanding these layers, you'll discover image objects ready to be transformed into a dynamic parallax backdrop. First, multi-select all the image objects in the first layer and navigate to Art, Sprites, Stage Backgrounds. For our example, let's delve into the City Background folder and select a fitting background image. Drag this image onto the sprite renderer for the first layer's image objects. Next, do the same for all image objects in the second layer. Remember, the second layer will visually appear in front of the first, adding to the parallax effect. You're free to add as many layers as you see fit to enhance this effect further. The Order in Layer field within each sprite renderer allows you to adjust the sorting, ensuring each layer renders exactly where you want it in relation to the others. Now that our stage is taking shape with its foundational elements and dynamic backgrounds, it's time to add another layer of engagement, collectibles. These items not only enrich the gameplay experience, but also provide players with valuable resources such as currency, health boosts, and weapon upgrades. To begin populating your stage with these enticing rewards, head over to the Prefabs Pickups folder. Within this treasure trove, you'll discover various subfolders categorized by type, including currency, health, lives, tanks, weapon energy, and weapons. Feel free to explore these options and select items that align with the challenges and reward structure you envision for your stage. Once you've made your selections, drag and drop these items into your stage. Place them in locations that encourage exploration, reward skillful navigation, or offer necessary aid in challenging sections. This strategic placement not only makes your level more engaging, but also integrates seamlessly with the gameplay mechanics. To maintain a clean and manageable project structure, it's advisable to organize these pickup items within their respective game objects in the hierarchy. This organization aids in the development process, making it easier to modify, replace, or add to your collection of pickups as your stage evolves. To cap off our stage with an exhilarating climax, it's time to introduce a boss fight. First, let's extend the battleground by adding more ground tiles where the showdown will unfold. Venture back to the enemies folder and select the mech boss prefab. Drag this adversary into the designated area of your stage where you envision the boss fight taking place. Next, let's delve into the intricacies of the boss game object. Here, you'll find a component crucial for initiating the battle, the boss trigger. The boss trigger is responsible for making the boss's energy bar visible and kicking off the fight. Position the trigger collider at the entrance to the boss area and adjust its size to ensure it activates the fight as soon as the player crosses the threshold. The final piece of our boss fight puzzle involves dictating what happens upon the boss's defeat, marking the completion of the stage. Navigate to the boss's actor object, and in the On Actor Died section, we're going to add a new event. This is where the Scene Manager comes into play. Drag the Scene Manager into the designated field and select Level Over as the function. This action will invoke the On Level Over event within the Scene Manager, initiating the transition to the stage select scene. Alternatively, you could configure this to lead to any other scene, depending on your game's structure and narrative flow. With our stage fully assembled and every element in place, from ground tiles to boss fights, it's time to put our creation to the test with a complete playthrough. This crucial step allows us to experience the stage from a player's perspective, ensuring that all components work harmoniously to deliver a compelling gameplay experience. Successfully navigating through the stage, overcoming the enemies and the boss fight serves as a testament to the effectiveness of our design. Moreover, the seamless transition to the stage select scene upon completing the stage confirms that the end of stage triggers and events are functioning precisely as intended. To integrate your newly crafted stage into the game's flow, making it selectable from the stage selection screen, a crucial step awaits. Navigate to File Build Settings to incorporate your stage into the game's build. Here, you can add your stage to the Scenes in Build list, either by clicking Add Open Scenes or by manually dragging the stage scene into this field. Once added, you can close the Build Settings window. Next, proceed to the Stage Select scene located within the System Scenes folder. In this scene, you'll need to interact with the Stage Selection interface, expand the canvas, and then the stage screen to locate the stage buttons. To include your new stage, you have two options. Either create a new stage button by duplicating an existing one, or repurpose one of the existing buttons for your stage. For example, select the Stage 1 object, and within its button component, update the settings to reflect the name of your new stage. Additionally, it's important to remember to register your new stage within the Scene Manager. This ensures that your game correctly tracks completion and other related data for your stage. With this final adjustment, your setup is complete, and your stage is now fully integrated into the game, appearing on the stage selection screen and ready for action. This wraps up our tutorial on creating a stage with the 2D Action Platformer kit. If you have any questions or need further clarification on any part of the process, please don't hesitate to leave a comment here or reach out on the official Arctentrion Discord server. I'm committed to responding to all your questions and ensuring you have the support you need. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in staying up to date with the kit and future projects, subscribing is a great way to keep informed. Until next time, happy developing.